I've been out living life, okay? There's a lot going on out here. Yeah, I just had to get back into the world and just get my mind right. You know, another mistake I see a lot of people make, and I see it all over on every platform. And like a lot of these times, like the creators or like business owners, whoever it is, they'll kind of get down on themselves because they feel like they're not growing, they're not getting engagement, even though they're putting out content like on the regular somewhat. And when you're putting out content kind of regularly and you're not getting the results you would like or want, or you see other people getting because they're getting viral content, it can be disheartening when you're doing this shit. But one of the biggest reasons most people don't see the growth they're looking for is because they're not providing any value to the marketplace. They're not providing value to their platform. They'll post a pic of their product, or they'll post a flyer, they'll post the sale they're having, but they're not providing any value to the content, to the market. So there's something called the law of reciprocity, right? When you do for others, they feel indebted to you. They feel like they owe you and they have to pay you back. So when you're putting out content and you're providing value to an audience, you start to build this connection where they feel like they owe you because you're providing all this free value, all this free content that's helping them fix a problem, that's helping them solve an issue. You're providing value to them. They, in return, feel like they want to support you, whether it's with a $7 product, $50 product, maybe you help them a lot, it's a $1,000 product. Until you start providing that value, people will never get to that point with you. They may like what you see and they may shop what you want just because it was like impulse buy or something, but until you start providing value, like consistent quality value, and helping your target audience, until you're providing them with something before they buy, it's going to be very hard to turn them into buy, because there's so much content out these days. There's so many people fighting for attention. If you're not triggering that dopamine in their brain of them like, oh, I needed that information. Ooh, I didn't know that. Ooh, I learned something. Ooh, I got that. Like, if you're not triggering that, somebody else will. So you have to be providing value, whether it's how-to, tutorials, tips, tricks, fun facts. One of the best things you can do, one of the biggest things that will help you is telling stories. If you can connect a lesson or a tip or something you learned to a story and tell it in a very compelling way, like where you can hold people's interest, you will really start to see like massive growth with your content, massive growth on your profile, especially if you can find ways to like chop it up and break it up into parts. I'll tell y'all exactly what I'm doing. So my plan is to start a series of how I went from chef to software company, like how I quit my job, started a clothing line, did like how I went through all that to eventually launching my own marketing software and company. Like that's gonna be like the little mini series I'm gonna work on. But yeah, that's gonna be like my short form start building up audience, stuff like that. But yeah, if you can tell a story with your value, if you can give a value and make it entertaining, it's called valuetainment, edutainment, like teaching people but also providing entertainment. That's how you get people, because you're providing the dopamine from the entertainment and the dopamine from them learning. If you can combine them, you'll start to really gain this audience of engaged and interested people. But I say all that to say, you need to be providing value. You need to be helping your audience, your customers, before they're your audience and customers. You provide them value. You're kind of like laying out the road for them to follow. There's so many ways you can do it, and like for different industries, different things make sense. If you need help figuring out what you should be like how to provide more value for your specific niche or industry, put it in the comments and I'll make like a little short response to it. And if you're ever unsure about like how you can provide value, like what information would be useful to your audience, go look at different people in your field or your industry, your niche, whatever. Go look at other people who are creating content and look at the value they're providing. See what content gets the most reaction, what content gets the most engagement, what are people interested in finding out about, what questions are people asking in the comments. All those questions, if you go look at like some of the big creators, people in your niche, there's people under those comments asking questions. And a lot of times that creator doesn't have time to answer those questions. So if you make a video responding to that question, guess who's building up a new audience? Like it kind of just becomes, you just kind of feed the machine. You just keep feeding the beast, and it's like a cycle. It's called a flywheel. It's called flywheel marketing, if I'm not mistaken. But you just kind of, like how rowboats work. They have the water that pushes the row, and then it just keeps going. You have the content that feeds the audience, and the audience feeds you, and then you keep feeding, and it's a circle. It's a circle. You saw, yeah, it's a circle. You have to just keep providing value. And sometimes when you're providing that value, the vanity isn't gonna come with it. Another problem I see is that a lot of people focus on the likes and the followers and the views, the unnecessary stuff, because none of that stuff relates to sales. Yes, followers are important. You should be growing steadily every month. But at the end of the day, if those followers aren't engaging, if they're not buying, are they really important? That's why a lot of the bigger profiles, you'll see like they'll have 50, 20, 100,000 followers, and they're getting 2-3 comments on their post. That don't make sense. If you want to build up a community, and that's what is being rewarded right now with the new algorithm, if you want to build up a community, you want to build up people that engage, slow and steady wins the race. It's much better to have 1,500 super engaged, super excited people who are ready for your content, ready for your products, than to have 150,000 followers and only 10 people are engaging and liking and commenting on your stuff. Nobody's buying. You don't want that. Promise you don't want that. Do not pay for your followers. Do not buy your followers. Build up an organic audience, build relationships, provide value, give them content that they enjoy, they want to see, and you will be rewarded when you decide to release a product or a service, whatever it is. Remember, the content space, creating content, having a platform like that, it's a marathon, okay? Shout out to Nipsey. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You don't just make it for a month and then stop and then make it and stop. Like, it takes compounding and building up on like a platform, and building. You have to keep putting out the content, keep providing value. And I know that can sound daunting for some people, but don't overcomplicate it. You don't have to worry about putting 3, 4, 5 pieces of video or content out a day. Just focus on putting out 1 piece a day, 2 to 3 to 4 pieces a week, but just do them consistently on certain days. Make sure you stay consistent with your posting and your schedule that you're posting, the content, and then just keep building off of it. Start batch creating your content. Don't try and do it on the fly and try and make it as you go. Block out some time at the beginning of the week to be like, okay, I'm gonna shoot my content here, I'm gonna edit it this day, I'll schedule it to be posted on this day. Just block that time out, stick to it every day, every week, every time. Like, make sure you stay on top of it. And as you start to build up those habits, you'll get better and better and faster, and you'll be able to put out more content and provide more value. And you see how it just keeps going. You just get the ball rolling and just don't let it stop. All right, that's at the end of the day, that's what it is. This is another one of those videos that I wasn't intending to be this long. I start talking about a topic, then it just kind of goes off.
Do the fucking drop.
Marveezy, take it easy.
DJ VG, run that shit back, cuz.